listen, we got to do this real quick. You know, if Master Burton to kill a child, he'll kill any one of us.
Damn shame.
All right, now y'all get a little closer now.
Boy, where you get that Bible? You know how to read?
I was learning to read from my last master. They good black folk.
You don't teach no slave to read. That's probably why they couldn't afford to keep you.
Genesis 2:24. A man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh.
Sarah, when the sun rises and they send me to them fields, your face is in my mind like a prayer. When my back bends and my hands bleed on those long days, when I feel like I could fall out and die, I want to live just for you, Sarah. I got no freedom to give you, no house, no land, no paper saying we belong. But I swear before Jesus that I will protect and provide for you. I'll share every crumb of bread, every breath, every dream I got left. If ever the world forget we human, I'll remind it by loving you. I ain't got much, Sarah, but everything I do belongs to you.
Ben, you are my freedom. When I hear your voice, I don't feel like nobody's slave. I'm saving myself like the Bible say, and I can't wait to give myself to you. I promise you this, when you fall, I'll lift you up. Nothing can break us up. If the Lord bless us with children, I'm gonna tell them their daddy was a protector and an honest man. You are with me always, and every beat of my heart from now till the Lord call me home. I am yours.
Do you, Uncle Ben, take Sarah to be your wife?
Sure do. And do you, Sarah, take Uncle Ben here to be your husband?
I sure do.
I sure wish Jesus would come here and turn some of this water into wine.
Now you know no black man gonna attend no slave wedding.
According to this good book, Genesis 24, Hosea 2:3, the groom and his family is supposed to pay a bride price to this woman. You have a bride price, Uncle Ben?
Well, ain't the man supposed to be taking care of her for her whole life?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, then why in the hell he got to pay her? Shouldn't she be paying him? She the one getting taken care of.
Well, really, Master Burton taking care of us.
Sarah, I knowed how much you like Miss Lady Burton's beautiful, thick black hair. This here wig was passed down by my great big mama, and I want you to have it.
Yes! Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous!
Well, dear, this is the third albino child that you've shot. If you keep going at this rate, who's going to pick the cotton?
Or I just keep buying another one and another one until the ones I got know how to behave.
Sarah, go ahead and get the cheese, raisins, and potato salad. And since you've been good, you can have the pig guts too. Now hurry up, first things have passed.
Thank you, Lady Burton.
They're disgusting, almost like cannibals. Their flesh is the pink of the pig, but they sure do like eating that foul beast. Swine for swine. They barely even have lips. I don't know how they even taste their food.
Madam Lynch told me that the albinos came from Europe, where they live in caves and had no running water and filth. We rescued them and brought them to Jesus.
Master Lynch speaks the truth. He's a wise man. He's a wealthy man. Those breeding plantations are the most profitable. Perhaps we'll get out of the cotton business and, open up a breeding plantation when I pass on the plantation to my son.
Well, if we leave it to you, we'll have a breeding plantation. All these mulattoes running around here.
The whip doesn't only work on the albinos, my dearest love. Sarah, prepare the Queen's chambers. The lady is drowsy. Sarah, get your ass moving. What you waiting on?
What's up did your spirits on such a dark night?
Ma'am?
Stupid albino bitch, why are you so happy? Be sure to answer before the sun rises, vanilla gorilla.
Today, I was married today, ma'am.
A slave wedding? Say nothing of this to Master Burton. He believes the only bond a slave should have is to his master and to God.
Master Burton.
Shut your mouth. Well, for now. Do you know the book of Numbers? God instructs Moses to carry the Lord's vengeance against the Midianites. Following this command, Moses assembles an army of 12,000 men, 1,000 from each tribe of Israel. Trumpets blaring, they march in the battle. The Israelite army is victorious. Now therefore, kill every man among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man by sleeping with him. But all the young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him, keep them alive for yourselves. Change the sheets.
Sarah, let me take care of you.
How?
I'm your husband, Sarah.
Matthew 6:24.
No one can serve two masters.
No one can serve two masters.
Either you will hate the one and love the other,
Either you will hate one and love the other,
or you will be devoted to one and despise the other.
or you will be devoted to one and despise the other. Don't touch me. You are not my master.
Come here, boy. Got some pigeons over here I need you to take care of. Yeah, boy, as you can see right here, this is where they sit at, and make a mess. So you probably need some bonding material to sit up there. You eyeballing me, boy?
No, sir, Massa Burton.
Now it's no sir, Massa Burton. Boy, just a minute ago, you was looking at me like I'm a goddamn albino. Sarah.
Yes, sir, Mr. Burton.
Whip. Take your clothes off. No, not you. You take your clothes off. Here, boy. Here, boy. Yeah, take that. Go on now. Go on. Go on. Okay. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Here. You look. You do the whipping, or you get whipped. Yeah. Go on over there. Go. You whip him. Whip him. You see, boy? You could be the master or you could be the slave.
Good evening there, Ben.
Morning, darling. How's that easy work up there?
A woman's work is never easy.
Yeah, some of it hard, some of it easy. We got our duties, Sarah. Always will. But we got each other too. Don't you forget that.
I know, Ben, I do. It's just sometimes it feels like a dream, you know? Us, married. I'd feel more comfortable if Massa blessed it.
It's real in our hearts, Sarah. And that's where it truly counts.
You just keep on humming then. I like to hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
I love you, Ben.
I love you, Sarah.
Love, you are property. You can love no more than a couch or a pig can love.
I love you, Massa. I'm your property.
Peace of the Saints. So that was episode 2. We're actually about to shoot episode 3 the day after tomorrow. I've been that extraordinarily busy. I appreciate you all being here with me to, get this writing in. I see we got some mentally ill folks in the chat. Always. But I'm going to share the concept that I have for the upcoming episode. We're going to do some rapid writing. And there's a couple blank spaces that I need you all to help me fill in. And this was my intention from the beginning, was to have a co-creative process and do something that has perhaps never been done in the motion picture business, which is to write the film with the audience. And one thing I'd like to note for you all is that, number one, we're going to continue, God willing, filming a number of episodes, and these will be kind of like TV shows. And through that process, I will identify all of the actresses and actors that we want to carry into the production of the actual film. As you guys know, I self-produce this. I self-finance it. It is quite expensive, and in fact, becoming more expensive. Lady Burton, the woman who's playing the wife of Master Burton, and as well, Uncle Ben, both increased the price on me. So now they're pretty much unaffordable. I am going to bring them back on for the shoot the day after tomorrow. But otherwise, I'll have to bring in some more folks. So I appreciate those of you who have supported this, whether you supported it financially through Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, or you shared the video. And I'm not talking about this one right here. I'm talking about the actual link to Burton Plantation episode 2, which I believe is on the fan channel entitled Marquette for Women. So if you type in Marquette for Women and then search Burton Plantation episode 2, or you just type in Burton Plantation episode 2, if you've shared that, I appreciate you. It really does help. It doesn't cover the cost at all. Literally, a video like that probably made like $40, literally. And I'm spending like many thousands, tens of thousands on it. But I'll continue on. I think that we have something here. So I do want to thank all of you who support. And of course, during this live stream, shout out to all of those folks who are watching on twitch.tv/Marquette Devon. Now let's go ahead and look at what we got here for this particular script. I'm really excited about the concept that we have, because some of you may have heard of something called the Willie Lynch letter, which may be a fictitious letter, but it is at this point a historical document. Whether it was actually made when it supposedly claimed to have been made, or it was produced in the 1970s, we don't know. But what we know for sure is that the concepts in there were powerful and made a lot of sense. And so what I've done is I've taken a decent amount of text from the Willie Lynch letter, which is basically a letter on how to enslave people, human beings. And so I've taken maybe about 20-30% of that letter out. In many cases, I've reformulated the language, improved it, frankly. And in other cases, I've adapted it to our concept that we have here. And for those of you who don't have the background, the Willie Lynch letter was essentially a speech that was supposedly given by a master enslaver. And he gave this speech to other enslavers such that they could improve their methodology for controlling black slaves. At that time, that's what they were focused on, were black slaves. And not only did it give methodology to break the spirit and psychology of the black slave, it claimed that it would break them for hundreds of years. So obviously quite a bit of what is in the letter it was actually a speech, is quite diabolical. And what I've done is I've taken that letter, that speech, turned it into a letter that Master Burton has received. And what I want to do with this is have and you guys can object and add your thoughts on this. And I'll drop the link to join on screen in our Discord for all of the folks who are members. You can join on screen and speak as you like with regards to the plot, script, etc. So let me just drop that right now. But the idea is that the episode starts with a letter being delivered to Master Burton from Willie Lynch, who's giving Master Burton instruction on how to enslave human beings. Master Burton reads the letter with great fascination, and then he starts teaching the methods to his son, because obviously just as much as you want a slave and their children to be slaves, the master and their children also have to practice the dark arts of being an enslaver. And what we're trying to highlight with this series and eventually the motion picture is that much of this stuff is education, training, and conditioning, which is to suggest that either group could have been the slave or could have been the enslaver. And so there'll be many lessons. This series is, God willing, going to go all the way into the modern era with the roles reversed. I think it'll be quite a fascinating and impactful series, and hopefully folks will support it at a much higher level. because no one else is making expenditures on real meaningful art. People are doing skits and making you laugh. It's more so Drewski and I Show Speed kind of content. I Show Speed, his content is more so disposable. Drewski's content is short form and comical. But neither of them are trying to make anything that's legendary and impactful, which is what I'm trying to do. And so I appreciate those of you who have been with me on this pursuit. Before we get started, let me acknowledge the one person who has supported. Thank you to Albatar. He writes, Peace of the Saints. Master Burton was enjoying himself whooping their... yeah, and that was a bit of the humor. And one of the unique things of this picture is that it'll alternate between extremes, hopefully, extremes in humor, extremes in violence and savagery. And so it'll make for an emotional roller coaster. So anyways, this is the vision. So, and we got to get this written out, and shout out to Melvin supporting using the Stripe link. Master Burton is sitting at the piano in the plantation, and then he receives a letter delivered by Uncle Ben. And just to give you a sense of the characters I will have in this show. So as of now, assuming everyone takes their flights that I paid for, we have a young white woman who's a brunette. I forget the color of her eyes. I want to say they're blue, and this does matter. Then we have a white blonde woman. I don't know what her eye color is. Hopefully they're different than the other woman's eye color. Then we have Uncle Ben, who's a blonde male. And then we have Lady Burton, a black female. Then we have myself as Master Burton. We'll probably throw in one other actor as Master Burton's son. So that's the cast. And I'm going to enlarge this so that you guys can see this right here. Okay, here we go. So, and I do have a couple notes here. You'll see things like post-production. So, and you'll see camera angle and things like that, which are notes for the team, not necessarily things to read. I'll probably move this document over to my primary screen to see it a little bit better. So yeah, let me move this over here. There we go. But anyways, I said a troll in the chat. That's not a troll. That's just a mentally unhealthy person. Matter of fact, what we will do at this time is we're going to transition everyone over to Twitch. So I'm going to shut down both of the YouTube streams. If you're not already on Twitch, go ahead and hop on twitch.tv/MarquetteDevon. Twitch.tv/MarquetteDevon is where we are all relocating at this time. The Google Corporation is a censorship corporation which has shadow banned and demonetized me, and we will continue the movement. All is going well and according to plan, as I anticipated and expected such a move from this media outlet, which is controlled by a certain group of people. Great. Okay, so we shut down those 2 YouTube streams. We are now exclusively on Twitch. We're going to get back after this work. Okay, let's work. So, post-production, we probably going to do a previously on little cut at the beginning. And that's going to show the scene where Sarah's running out of the plantation just after she was taken advantage of. I really like that scene because the music and the acting was all in harmony. It was quite a powerful scene, so I think that'll be a good one to catch attention. As you guys know, this is set in the year 1850 on a plantation. It's a comedic drama. And just a couple notes. We need to remember to keep the lights dim or off this time. It was messing up the white balance on the camera. And let's see. So as we said, the episode begins, and we're going to do a little bit of writing here. If you guys don't mind, we're going to do some writing, do some editing. So the episode begins with Master Burton sitting in the Burton Plantation parlor room, and a letter is brought to him by Uncle Ben. It is revealed that Sarah is pregnant and everyone is on edge. So this is not necessarily related to that. That's kind of later. So one thing I want you guys to let me know what you think is, should we have Sarah die in childbirth? That's something that I'm considering, like, should she die in childbirth? Let you guys weigh in on that. No. Let's see if I can put the comments on the screen. later. Anyways, so there'll also be a part where they ask Master Burton what to name the baby. As you guys know from the character description, we should list the characters toward the top. So here are all the characters here. Master Burton is the plantation's patriarch, very Christian, very racist. He speaks in Bible verses. So anytime there's an opportunity to have Master Burton communicate any idea using a Bible verse, we always want to opt to do that because that keeps him in character. Let me go ahead and drop that right there. Boom. Okay. So anyways, slave birth, Sarah dies, babies live. That's babies, plural. They asked Master Burton what to name the babies. Now, it's also worth noting that the babies, actually, I'll let you guys get that a little bit later. So a lot of this is disorganized. A part of this process is going to be organizing this. This is what happens when you're just jotting down your thoughts. So one of the lines is Hagar. It is a suitable biblical name for a bondswoman. And that is going to be one of the names that we're going to use for one of the children born. Lady Burton explains to Master Burton that the female twins are born. Clearly that has to come first. And this is just explaining the story, but obviously we need to bring narrative to it. We need to actually use dialogue as opposed to just saying what happened. Right here it reads, Master Burton orders the darker child be sold. And, you know, this is one of those things where everything that happens during the space of this particular episode, we want it to be in line with the Willie Lynch letter. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just reviewing a couple of the parts and a couple of the lines I want involved. And then I'm going to take you to my rewrite of the Willie Lynch letter. And I actually think I actually improved it. But anyways, Master Burton orders the darker child to be sold. And the reason that for the storyline, it's easier to have the darker child sold as opposed to the lighter one is because it helps continue to reinforce like our storyline and the differentiation between the two racial groups. The slave girl, Sarah, is told to sell the white one. And then there's a fast forward 4 years. So that's going to be a challenging thing to essentially show a time lapse wherein all of a sudden several years have passed. And it's going to be more than 4 years. And the reason it actually has to be more than 4 years is because we want Master Burton to actually take advantage of quote unquote his own daughter, which is the slave girl who has now reached maturity. So we'll say fast forward 14 years. And the reason we have these things that sound extreme is because they really happened, and we want to be able to highlight the actual happenings. And frankly, this was everyday life on plantations. So the slave girl, Sarah, we'll just say fast forward 14 years. Mother dies in childbirth. Now that may or may not happen. I want you guys to kind of park and lot that in your mind, and we can come back to that. Master Burton takes advantage of the daughter, same place he took advantage of her mother. And we try to do these things so that it just shows the heinous nature and the fact that it's like an institution. It's something that is reoccurring and just a part of life. And everyone in the institution of slavery as a slave has to accept it. And it says with the slave girl's grandmother watching in horror. Well, it turns out that we don't have an actress for that, so we'll make it her mother. And it reads, girl scratches Massa Burton's chest. And he has mom hold her hands down while Massa Burton takes advantage of her. Now, this is really an important one because it shows how much the enslaved population is truly dominated, that you would yield your protective instinct over your child and then obey your master, even when your master is actually abusing your child. You're essentially helping him do that. Then the camera angle is an upshot of Master Burton's face. And this, we wanted to do this because we didn't, in my opinion, I felt like when the last
protagonist female was taken advantage of, I felt like it was not, it didn't make me feel enough. I felt a little bit of sadness looking at her eyes, but not enough. And I didn't feel the true victimization of the enslaved female. And so what we want to do this time is basically have the cameraman lay on the bed, and it's an upshot toward the ceiling, and Mr. Massa Burton is looking down, and he's like slapping the camera to kind of give you a little bit more of the visceral first person experience. And maybe even if we could like shoot it in a way that makes you feel like you're being choked. So like maybe if we shot it like that and use this effect to make you feel like you're being choked as the viewer. So I'm going to add that in. I think that's a nice touch to it. So let's throw that in there. So camera angle, upshot of Master Burton, slapping camera, looking deranged. And then he is choking, camera shows partial of his hand. Okay, great. So then you have Marquette de Van Burton II, which is the son of Massa Burton, who's essentially in training to be the next master of Burton Plantation. So he walks in to see his father taking advantage of Hagar and walks off unnoticed. Now, here's the trippy part. He actually likes Hagar because you have to remember that Master Burton's son and Hagar are around the same age. So the trippy part is that in reality, Hagar and Master Burton II are actually, in fact, siblings, right? They're in fact siblings, but also they grew up together in a literal sense. So he's had affection for her, and not really did he ever conceive of her being his sister, but they're the same age. And so he sees this abuse. And so in his head, just as much as Hagar's head, his thinking and his emotions are being twisted up in some fairly unfortunate ways. So I think this is when it gets really diabolical. And what we have to do is be able to demonstrate before Hagar is taken advantage of that MDB2 actually had affection for her before this. So we need to make sure that we shoot that scene. So I'm going to make a note of that right here. So show MDB2 and Hagar spending time walking the plantation and playing tag and being affectionate. Okay, great. So let me enlarge this for you all so you can follow along with this fine script here. Okay, so now here we are. The MDB2 actually witnesses MDB1 taking advantage of Hagar, his sister / love interest, and he walks off unnoticed. So he literally like walked into his father's owner's suite, saw this with his own eyes, and then walks off. And then it notes that son takes advantage of her in the shack on some straw, but that's essentially like right after the same like day. Like she like leaves the plantation, she's walking back to the slave quarters, and then he basically captures her. Or let's say he starts walking with her and then, you know, unexpectedly takes advantage of her. So we have MDB2 sees Hagar walking back to slave quarters and then pushes her down and takes advantage. Okay. And then it says Massa Burton's son loves the daughter and follows her and then takes advantage of her behind hay bale. I actually don't have any hay bales right now. They were collected. Takes advantage of her. Massa Burton sees this from his balcony. So what we want to happen is that Massa Burton can actually view this occurring. So essentially, after Massa Burton has taken advantage of Hagar, she kind of dresses herself and leaves out. And little does she know, his devious son, who's in training to be a master, is outside and starts walking with her. And then when she thinks she's being comforted,
Then out of nowhere, he turns into the same savage that his father has trained him to be. And our goal in terms of the emotional roller coaster is that when Hagar comes out and she's like emotional and broken up, MDB2 kind of like comforts her, and you're like, okay, well, at least she has someone looking out for her. And then all of a sudden he's like, nah, actually, and that's the catch the viewer off guard again. So anyways, carrying on from there, gentleman writes, is the age of the girl set in stone? I think a younger age showcases the heinous nature more, perhaps 10 to 12. I agree with you there. Let's take the middle shot. We'll go with 11. We'll go with age 11. And you know what, people in the audience, the listening audience, you might be thinking like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, nah, that's life, homie. That was real life. You dig? The facts. Okay. And I think the comedy of the script will come in as we get closer to the modern era. Building a lot of foundation here. So anyways, so let's see, where were we? Master Burton's son loves the daughter, say loves Hagar, and follows her and then takes advantage of her. Master Burton sees this from his balcony. So we'll probably use the drone at this point. So we'll make a note for camera. Use drone to shoot Master Burton on balcony, and then fly over to Hagar walking with MDB2 approaching her. Great. Then it says, what causes conflict? Oh yeah, so what I wanted to do is close out this particular episode with a hanging. And that's because it's one of the things that we've yet to do that is a common reality of this time period. So I figured a good hanging would be good. We've already gotten a number of abuses of the sexual variety. And those are actually really important because those were commonplace. So you might say, Marquette, like this seems like you're putting a lot of these in it. Well, think about it. Just think about it. If you were a white man enslaving a whole population of females and you had complete control over them, and you could do whatever you wanted anytime you wanted, of course, this was occurring a lot. So that's something that we have to portray and represent. The hangings occurred a lot less frequently because you're basically losing out on profit. So we are going to close this episode with the hanging of Uncle Ben. And the real question is, what does Uncle Ben do that causes Master Burton to want to hang him? Or what does Master Burton observe or create in his mind that causes him to want to hang Uncle Ben? That's a second question for you guys. So remember, the first one was, do we want to kill off the mother? We're kind of short on actresses, so we might let her live. You know, she might die. We kind of wanted her to die in childbirth, but we might let her live. And then we also want to think about what Uncle Ben does or what Master Burton decides on. And it should be generally, we want it to be diabolical and unexpected. That causes us to hang Uncle Ben. This person writes, are they, again, gonna, not a word. And I always ask you guys as much as possible when you're writing to write in the Queen's English. Speak colloquially if you so choose to your friends, but we want to write in the Queen's English. He says, looking at Master Burton's wife. I need something more. I need something more. I need something more. Something less predictable. Something more diabolical. And feel free to think on it. And I appreciate the recommendations. Shout out to Kristen. Kristen. Comes in via PayPal. He writes, what about adding in a part where Master Burton introduces his son into buck breaking? That definitely is going to happen, no doubt. Or maybe you're talking about that for the hanging. He writes, or taking advantage of his half-sister. That's definitely going to happen as well. And we definitely need a scene of the whiteness eating pig feet and water out of service. You know what? I think that'll come in the next episode. I like that. So definitely parking like that for the next episode. We just happen to not have those props on deck, but I think that's good. We 100% have to have them eating some swine. That's just no doubt about that. Shout out to Andre. He writes, if you ever need extra hands on the production of this show, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll fly out, cover my own expenses, and support the project however needed. Much respect. And by the way, shout out to Sass in Atlanta, because those guys always come down and help out. I really appreciate them. And Andre, I might actually need you to come in as a white actor. So I don't know if you meant on the production side or on the acting side. I'll need you on the acting side for sure. And I'll cover your flight out. Absolutely. And I'd much rather hire the Saints than anybody, of course. So definitely tap in with me. And Burton Plantation episode 4, we're about to shoot episode 3 within 30 hours of now. Episode 4, I'm planning that joint out in advance. You heard me? I'm planning it out in advance. We're going to get all the actresses that I want. So be ready for that one. And I'm going to have the script written in advance on that baby. Shout out to Jorge, who just became a member at peacetothesaints.com. We welcome you warmly within this thing of ours. Okay, carrying on. He said, are they having a picnic? Bruh, you better believe they having a picnic. That's Mando. That is Mando. Absolutely. And in fact, let me request that picnic blanket be set aside right now. And also, let me emphasize to you guys, I always teach you guys about health, wealth, relationships. I cannot emphasize how important relationships are. Like, I kid you not, in the last 2 months, relationships have saved me like $20,000. Relationships are so very important, and show love to those who show love to you. You heard me? Because that's going to make them show it back. Hey there. We need a prop that we do have in the house for Burton Plantation episode 3. I just want to make sure that it's ready to go in the right place. So we need to do a picnic underneath the hanging. So if you could grab one of those blankets, primarily one that's plaid, and we want to use that for a picnic, and we'll probably need some fruits and stuff like that. So if you'd be kind enough to take that blanket and also all of the clothes, which may be in the Narnia room or it may be in the armoire, in the spare bedroom and in the farthest spare bedroom. If you could take all those props and just set it inside of the parlor room, I would be deeply thankful. Okay, great. Yeah, no, the picnic is Mando, bro. What? Absolutely. And, you know, filming the hanging is going to be a tough thing because there's so many things that can only be suggested in the online space. Like, you can't show it, you can only suggest it. And in as much as we're suggesting it, we're going to have to use a lot of creativity. So let's see. So I like that recommendation on the age. That was good. And in fact, let me update my script so Hagar has a sense of the age that she's playing. Let me update put that there. Update my character list. So Hagar is daughter of Sarah, age 12. Okay. Bro said no spoilers. I hear you, man. Said plotting rebellion. That would make sense under some circumstances, except I have to concede that, you know, God willing, I can continue financing this myself and hopefully people start supporting at a higher level. We are going to make it to the Civil War. And during the Civil War, that's going to be when the slave rebellion happens. Because theoretically, I'm a great slaver. I just got the letter from Willie Lynch. I know how to slave. But when the Civil War pops off and I'm about to send my own son to fight in the Civil War, then we're going to have some of the slaves are going to start figuring out what's going on, and then they're going to hit the rebellion. So that's for the future. The neat thing is living in the Confederate South. I actually live down the street from a Confederate cemetery, so it'll be great for shooting. So what about Uncle Ben caught looking for the deed of the plantation? Or, okay, that's curious. That's deep. Or possibly asking around questions where the guns are stored in the attempt for okay, so that's the same thing. The other one, very good. Maybe the hanging can be a lesson on runaway slaves. Will you be employing a head of wardrobe for a realistic demand? Uncle Ben caught refusing to eat and plot a I kind of like that refusing to eat piece. That could actually be really interesting if we're like forcing forcing him to eat, just like smashing food on his face. Yeah, he like tries to do a hunger strike. I kind of like that. Yeah, okay. Bet. Say no more. It is kind of ironic though if he's refusing to eat, which is like kind of trying to take himself out, and then I just hang him. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense once you actually think about it. So yeah, let's keep at it. I'm not sold on that one. Let me see what else folks are saying. Of a trivial act should be considered as the reason for the yes. Perhaps an underhanded remark or look of disdain, something small that Master Burton takes as an opportunity to impose. It should be unpredictable. Oh yeah, and one thing I need to write into the script right now, because there are going to be so many things that when you watch the episodes later, you're going to see how they connect beautifully. So for example, there should be a scene wherein Sarah I don't know why that's bold. I don't want that bold. Sarah says to Hagar, go over to that tree and get me a switch and find me a switch. Find me a switch. Now, if you're black, you've probably heard this phrase. And then I want to mirror this later, and I want Master Burton to say, go over and find me a good tree. And Master Burton is needing a tree to hang Uncle Ben. So it's really just seeing that the female slave has adopted the behavior of the master toward her children. If you guys see what I'm pointing out. Okay. So that line we need to put somewhere. So this, we need to fit that in somewhere. And I guess at this point we cannot kill off the mom in childbirth. So she has to stay alive. It is what it is. So we'll go on down. This would be birth of the twins. That's scene 2. Then scene 3, presenting the kid. And then we'll go scene... Okay, that's scene 5. Then we'll say scene 6. That line will be there. Okay, great. Make this a heading. All right. Hey, go ahead and hydrate. Someone says a slave auction would be great. Did you see episode 1? We had a slave auction in episode 1, but I had a vision for doing another slave auction, and we'll probably do it when we reshoot everything, because we're going to do a reshoot to make it essentially into a film. We want to probably come out with like a 3-part film. And in the slave auction we did last time, it was a little grimy, but I have one thing that I can do to make it even grimier. You guys will remind me. I want it to be where like one of the slavers pulls up the dress and like sticks his hand under, and he's like making eye contact with the woman. It's a young, good looking woman. He's like, oh yeah, this one's still fresh. And then he goes over to an older woman, like a senior citizen level, and does the exact same thing just to show how grimy these characters were. And how little dignity that the enslaved population was allowed to retain. Okay, and thank you for all of your suggestions. What about Mr. Burton's wife looking at Uncle Ben. Good way to show the dictatorship over everyone. And would it be unwarranted because Ben hasn't done anything to deserve it? Bro, get crazy with it. That was crazy. Says, I suggest dressing the slaves in disheveled, dirty garb or little to none. True story. Absolutely. Absolutely. Farilla. Okay, back to the Skrizip. Okay. It is revealed that Sarah's pregnant. Everyone's on edge. Sarah dies and baby lives. That's written out. Ask Mr. Burton what to name, Master Burton what to name the babies. And this I really like, and this will be Sarah asking. So we'll say, have Sarah say, Master Burton, what we gonna name these here albinos? These here slaves. I'll say these here slaves. And then we'll have Hagar look at Sarah in shock and disgust. Okay. And this one should be, this is a direction. Great. Take that. And this will obviously be when the children are essentially presented to Massa Burton. So this is birth of twins. Might have to AI that. Great, so I'll have that right there. Cool. Okay. Making some good progress here. Listen, folks, we need to do this, another session like this again in about 2 weeks. Because I want to have episode 4 written out early, and I want to start recruiting actresses super early. And actresses, of course, always want to see the script. Lady Burton explains to Master Burton that the female twins are born. Okay, so that has to go after the Willie Lynch letter, during the birth. Okay. It's a nice way to have a marker when you're scrolling back. Master Burton orders the darker child to be sold. And, I was asking myself, like, what kind of language do we want to use for him saying, well, we'll sell the darker one, keep the light one? And the only reason really we're selling it is, one, because it'll make a buck, and two, just to be grimy, which will be in line with the prescriptions recommended in the Willie Lynch letter. So we'll say Master Burton. Sell the less pale one. Okay. Fast forward 11 years later. Okay. And that's kind of like a post-production right there. It's post-production instruction. And I think one of the neat things we can do from a wardrobe perspective to actually show time as well is we'll probably have to use AI to like show an ultra fast forward, but also do a quick outfit change, but have Master Burton in the same location. Just making sure we're using the right formatting here. It's easy to find the scenes. Presenting children. Sarah had twins, double the money. You'll want to see these twins. Froze, okay. Skips to scene of Sarah holding twins. There we go, boom. Zoom in on Sarah's face. Boom. Post-production, fast forward 11 years. Have Master Burton. Sitting in same chair in parlor room, but new outfit after the fast forward. Okay, great. Fantastic. Go back to where we left off. Hagar is a suitable biblical name for a bondswoman. Put this back in episode. I guess I should just use that, right? Boom. Birth of twins, presenting twins. Oh, I think there's probably more. Where's the part where she says, what should we name? What we gonna name? There we go. So this is in the wrong scene. So I'll just grab this. Move this over to scene 3 right here. Perfect. See what folks are saying. Goes out of town for a day and the son is in charge and the son abuses his power and Uncle Ben almost choked the son. He said we will have a scene with other masters such as yourself having dinner or similar settings to reinforce. Probably not this one. No, we have the first 2 episodes we did dining scenes. So this will be the first one without a dining scene. And I think perhaps in the context of reading through the Willie Lynch letter, you all might get inspired as to how we can come up with hanging Uncle Ben. Anyways, scrolling back to the top. Okay, it is revealed that Sarah is pregnant and everyone is on edge. That we kind of should have known. So that'll go here. It's kind of weird. I don't even think that needs to go anywhere. She's going to be super visibly pregnant. It's kind of crazy to be pregnant on a slave diet, low key. And when you really think about it. Episode begins with Master Burton sitting in the Burton Plantation parlor room and a letter is brought to him by Uncle Ben. Show him DB, the second Hagar spending time walking the plantation. Yes. Yeah, so that should actually probably start the episode low key. Being affectionate, Mr. Burton. Okay. So really this is kind of scene 0. So we'll have that right there. Boom. Master Burton sitting in the parlor room. Letters brought to him by Uncle Ben for Scherzies. My AI some of this stuff. Okay, great. Okay, letters brought, so that's there. Master Burton takes advantage of the daughter, same place that he took advantage of the mother. Now, this is an important thing to write right now. Got to write through this. So the question is, how did the daughter and the mother end up in the same room at the same time? And I'm saying presumably the bedroom, because I figure we'll do it there. We also could have her taken advantage of in a different room. What do you guys think? Should she be taken advantage of in the bedroom or try a different room, different scene, different look? I yield the floor to you. So in the chat, let me know, should the daughter, Hagar, be taken advantage of in the same bed that her mother was a decade earlier, or should we try a different location? But in either way, in either situation, we're going to make sure that they're both in the same room. Okay, so we got one vote for a different room. Okay, yeah, let's go with a different room then. Settled. Okay, same room as tradition. I feel you. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so we'll think about it. We'll think about it. I'll let more people weigh in on that one. So what I'm more so asking myself right now is how they both end up there. Same room. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking perhaps it's a situation wherein Sarah is saying, Hagar, come on with me. I'm going to show you how to clean a bathroom properly. Yeah. Hagar, come on now. I'm going to show you. Oh yeah, let me show you guys what I'm writing. Yeah, same room. I agree. It is poetic somehow. Hagar, come on. Now I'm going to show you how to clean the bathtub properly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll have them doing that. And this is slave girl's mother one. Okay. So this would be, this would have to be a scene 4. Scene 4. Call that like mother, like daughter. Or like daughter, like mother. Okay, very good. Someone writes, because mind you, MDB second gonna spin back the same time, the same day. True, true, true. He writes, MB should mention to daughter her mother was taken down in the exact room. And he did read a Bible verse to the mom. If anyone can think about anything diabolical in terms of how the Bible can be used, feel free to throw that in there in terms of if it's a verse that should be used or the Bible itself should be used for anything. Do advise. And I think we'll try to shoot it in a different angle. Okay, so we have that. Hagar, come on now. I'm going to show you how to clean a bathtub properly. Okay, and then we have that go down. Uncle Ben. Just have it say Sarah's husband. Okay, so we're almost to the Willie Lynch letter, and that's where it gets good, in my opinion. Girl scratches Master Burton's chest, and he has mom hold down her hands. Okay, so say Sarah. And you know what's really good? We're going to have Sarah, the mom, still cleaning in the bathroom while this is happening in the bedroom. So she knows what's happening, but she's kind of trying to like block it out. So Sarah. Yeah, and this should be a really beautiful scene. And I mean, like artistically, I mean, cinematically beautiful. Because what we want to do with this one is we're going to have them holding, like mom is going to be on one, like off of the bed, and Hagar is going to be on the bed, and mom's going to be holding her hands kind of like this. They're going to be holding on for dear life. and it's just going to alternate between each of their faces, like crying. That's going to be a beautiful cinematic shot. Oh yeah. That, and we're going to put some good music on it. Yeah, that's going to be a beautiful cinematic shot right there. So say Hagar scratches Massa Burton's chest. Then he yells, Sarah. Oh yeah, let me show you guys what we're writing here. Sarah. And Sarah, hold her down. You say, hold her down. And then Sarah acts frantic, as if she isn't sure what to do, and sweeps Hagar's hair from away from her face and rubs her hair, comforting her. Then we'll say, so there should be some kind of struggle here. So we'll, show Hagar and Master Burton struggling. Okay, very good. And then show Hagar and Sarah's hands holding each other's wrists tightly, causing pinkness. And then this is a camera / post-production. Alternate between their faces, crying and making eye contact. Yeah, that's going to be raw. That's going to be a scene right there, tell you. That's going to be a heck of a scene. Camera angle, upshot of Master Burton slapping camera, looking deranged. He is choking camera, shows partial of his hand. Okay, great. I think that's a heck of a scene right there. So we'll take that. We'll go to that. Boom. Scene 6, Sarah goes over to the tree. Sarah, go over to the tree, find me a switch. So for scene 6, for Sarah to say something like this, Hagar had to have disobeyed. So Hagar disobeyed something. Disobeyed something. Figure out what that is later. Scrolling back up to the top. Okay, let's see what folks are talking about. Uncle Ben's hanging. He warrants his hanging by side-eyeing the master. The eye that mocketh his father. The raven shall pick it out. Okay, I like how you're bringing in the verses. Most people to Master Burton should speak how he originally took advantage of Hagar's mother in the same bed. You know what? Actually, I think post-production, we can just do the flashbacks, but we're using actually a new actress for Sarah. So we'd have to actually shoot that again, which I don't want to. But yeah, when we finally shoot the movie, we'll do the flashbacks. All right, so I agree in the most evil tone Master Burton should speak. The tone of the series is like none other, the balance of comedy and brutality. So unique, the comedy makes you think it's not that evil until it's, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I love the emotionally powerful cinematic scenes in the hanging scene. Oh yeah, absolutely. The hanging scene is going to be big crazy, except it's going to at some point be comical when the picnic starts popping off, right? Like niggas just like pass the Grey Poupon type shit. We bring Lady Burton back in. Okay. Oh, yeah, and shout out via Venmo. Shout out to the ballers. Shout out to Joshua, came in supporting in a big way on Venmo. He writes, appreciate your knowledge and sacrifice, big homie, just paying what I owe. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the work, especially something like this. Shout out to Andre. He writes, I can absolutely take an acting role. Just reach out when needed. Oh, that's what's up. I appreciate you, man. I'll definitely reach out. So, yeah, let's just plan on you being in episode 4. So whenever you hear me start writing or talking about episode 4, let's just let's link up and I'll get you booked, get you a ticket out here, and we're going to get it in. Says it's incredibly hard to believe humans actually look like, bruh, I'm trying to tell you, isn't it wild? Isn't it wild to conceive of? Yes, Lord. And that's why this picture is so important, because it depicts aspects that are not commonly talked about. People always talk about the lynchings, but not about the daily torture. Nor do they depict very effectively the psychological impact over time, over generations. We have MDB2 walks in. Okay, so this is important. He sees, okay, great. What conflict causes the hanging of Uncle Ben? That is a question we'll get to later. This goes here. And he doesn't actually quite walk in. So MDB2 opens the door of the owner's suite to see MDB taking advantage of Hagar and walks off unnoticed. And that'll be a nice camera angle. I want 2 camera angles. I want one like behind him and then one shooting, like looking at the scene of what's happening and seeing him open the door, actually. That's what I think I want. Hopefully I can remember that, because for some sick reason I don't want to write it down. MDB2 sees Hagar walking back to the slave quarters and then pushes her down and takes advantage. Okay, so we'll say MDB2 meets Hagar outside. He is sitting on bench waiting for her. So give me a sec. Excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Kind of toasty in here. Okay, where was I? All right, yes. So MDB2 says, Hagar. He catches up with her and starts comforting her, walking her back to the slave quarters, then pushes her down and takes advantage. Okay. And you know what? Maybe this is where Uncle Ben comes in. Maybe this is where okay. People have said it. Maybe you guys penetrated my subconscious. Maybe you guys penetrated my subconscious. Maybe this is where Uncle Ben comes in. He sees MDB2 giving her the old 1-2, and then he comes in off of some like run and tackle ish, and they start rumbling on some like jujitsu ish, and that's how the hanging occurs. I think that may be it. Let me know what you guys think. He writes, or perhaps Uncle Ben hesitates in obeying it. Okay, I think I read that one. So, okay, yeah. That's perfect. Okay, for sure. Let's get it. Okay, so we'll say approaching her. So that's a camera direction. That needs to be purple. Hagar. Boom. Uncle Ben hears yelling and sobbing and runs and tackles MDB2, and they begin brawling. And I mean, who's going to beat a slave in a fight though, right? Like ain't nobody about to beat a slave in a fight. All they do is work. You heard me? They begin brawling. And we'll show. Why does it say 6? That should be 5. That should be 6. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna smash this all into one scene actually. So we'll have Uncle Ben comes back to Slave Shack disheveled. And then you have Sarah. Boy, what done happened to you? What done happened to you? And then you'll have Hagar. He stopped. Master, what do we call MDB2? Master Burton? What do you call like the junior Burton? That's a good question. What did slaves call like the oldest son of the slave master? You think ChatGPT would know this one? Let's take a look. This is a crazy question. What would slaves call the oldest son of the slave master? Young master, Master Marquette. Okay, yeah. Young master, okay. So I'm thinking we'll go with master. I'm sorry, I should have made this larger. Sorry about that. It said Burton Jr. Now that sounds too, junior is like not formal enough. Young master. Yeah, we'll go with Master Marquette. I think that sounds fine. Settled. He stopped Master Marquette from, and then we'll have Sarah. Boy, no, you didn't. Sarah, why you cause all this trouble? Oh, excuse me, Hagar. Why you cause all this trouble, commotion, yelling and going on? Yeah, we hear you, but we ain't supposed to hear you. You's a slave, girl. Stay in your place. And Ben. Oh, Lord. You don't know what Massa gonna do. Gonna do to you. All right, very good. All right, so then she says, go over there and find me a Hagar. Go and find me a Hagar. You gon' find a tree. You gon' find a tree. Find a tree and find me a switch. Great. I damn near wish I had a torch. You feel me? I wish I damn near had a torch. Because, there's something powerful about the night. Wish I had a straight torch where niggas could show up with the torch and you just have all darkness around. It's just lighting one side of his face and niggas just looking diabolical and devious and sinister. Niggas like, You fight my son, homeboy. Like niggas is looking like he's happy about the sick he about to do. But wondering if I should pull the shotgun out for this one. No, I don't think we need the shotgun. But we'll probably need one of the slaves to help. Probably have my son and the other slave get this done. But anyways, yeah, it's back after. Yeah, so this is perfect. Okay, so Hagar, you gonna find me a tree and find me a switch. Cause I'm gonna whoop your ass. Cause I'm gonna whoop yo. I'm gonna whoop your white. Okay. Should she say white or albino? I think we're gonna go with albino. Okay. Now the question is, how do we want to transition from Master Burton getting wind of this and then doing what he's going to do? And I should probably also make a list of props just so we have all the props handy. So I'll just put the props list here. Props, which is rope. Oh, yeah. Rope, and then we'll have the whip, even though we're not about to use it. I like that. Yeah, okay, I like where we're going here. So I want it to be where MDB2 brings Master Burton a whip. And then he says, okay, I don't even need to say, and then he says, we'll just have him right here. Take off your clothes, boy. Then we'll have Uncle Ben taking off clothes. Master Burton hands the rope to, okay. And then he says, where's that go and find me a tree line at? There it is. Nope, that's not the one. There it is. Okay. Hands the rope to his son and toss over the tree. Okay, that's a little early, premature. A tree. Who should he tell to go find him a good tree? I guess he should tell Hagar, since she was told by her mom. Hagar, go on find me a tree. Master Burton, then she finds the tree. What kind of tree? What kind of tree, Massa? One for him to hold on to? One from him to hang from. A strong one, okay? It says one for him to hang from. Then he needs the rope. So now he say, Sarah, go and get me the rope. And I'm wondering, we haven't given Lady Burton many lines, so I guess we could throw her in there. Now I'm wondering, like, is the rope in the house or is the rope in the slave quarters? You feel me? Actually, we'll have Lady Burton do something else. So we'll have them say, Sarah, go and get me the rope. Go and get me some rope. Go and get me some rope. And then we'll have Lady Burton. Okay, exciting. I'll go and get the picnic prepared. Okay, Master Burton hands the rope to his son to toss over the tree branch. What in the? Trying to make this italics. Take away, yeah, there we go. Take away the bold. Make that purple. All right. And I think right now we should have MDB2 is kind of shocked at what the situation he's created. Now, if someone can take out a little bit of time to hop on ChatGPT and find a good Bible verse, because it says, MDB2 says, Father, I don't think we need to do this, Father. And then we want Master Burton to drop a cold Bible verse on him right there. Master Burton hands it, son the rope. Son looks shy. Okay, so we'll have Lady Burton is back and is spreading a blanket for a picnic. Very good. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the God, the good and gentle, but also to the. I need something harder. I need something else. See if you got something else. Okay, now we're gonna scroll back to the Tizop. I think we damn near got the whole skeleton at least of this picture, which is good. So at this point, we need Uncle Ben crying but taking his clothes off. Pause. So let's see, Uncle Ben crying, taking off clothes. And then we'll show camera angle of Uncle Ben from stomach up. Damn, I hope Uncle Ben don't have any tattoos. I think bro does. It might just have to be from like the neck up, but we'll see. Okay. Excuse me for a moment. Peace of the Saints. Mm-hmm. Yes, give me 1 second, 1 moment. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully the mute button worked. Okay. Always got a million things going on. It really be like that. But that's okay. You know, we keep working. Anyways, carrying on. And I appreciate your patience. I really do. Okay, so let's take this from the top if you don't mind. Post-production, do a previously on scene. Got the setting 1850, comedic drama. We have turn off or drastically dim lights in rooms. And then we'll put a colon there. It's causing camera focus issues. Okay, props. We got the rope and the whip. Probably need some more. We got the characters. And it says, what conflict causes the hanging of Uncle Ben? We've resolved that. I got some B-roll showing inside of Burton Plantation. Okay, that should be interesting. Show MDB2 and Hagar spending time walking the plantation and playing tag and being affectionate. Then we got scene 1, the Willie Lynch letter. And the setting is in the Virginia countryside in the year 1850, late afternoon, Burton Estate, grand entrance. Yada, yada, yada. Setting, parlor room. You have a letter. It look important. Okay, don't know why that's italics. Then he opens up the letter. And this is the letter. So this is the Willie Lynch letter right here, mostly rewritten. So I'd say about 80% of this is what I've rewritten it to. So we're going to take a look here. And now we're really getting into the deep part, the psychological part. The making of a slave. And we want to think, as I'm reading this, we want to think about which parts make sense that I'd be explaining it to MDB2. And over which parts is it going to be a voiceover and it'll show me doing things or saying things to the slaves. And so it'll be a lot of times where the slaves don't actually have lines. They're just engaging in activities, and there'll be light background music, and then it'll be me narrating the letter. So here we go. I greet you in the year of our Lord 1850. I write to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. I've experimented with some of the newest and oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Kemet would envy us if my program were implemented. I first began to pen this letter as our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king whose version of the Bible we cherish. I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways, I'm going to change that, along its roads in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings, runaways, and so your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. I have a method for controlling your albinos. I didn't really like that line. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. And since we don't have an overseer, I'm just going to keep it to family. I've outlined a number of differences among the albinos, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy. A plantation of albinos will run smoothly when you exploit this simple list of differences: age, hair, fine hair, coarse hair, yellow hair, brown hair, eye color, skin color, size, tall versus short, gender, and status on the plantation. It says alternate between reading the letter and then telling his son the contents of the letter as though he wrote the letter. Okay. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than envy, stronger than adulation. The albinos will take this indoctrination and pass it to their children. Remember, turn old albino male against young albino male, and the young albino female against the old albino female. You must use the pale-skinned slaves versus the paler-skinned slaves. Turn the female against the male such that she'll never see him as a man. And I'm just going to read you guys through the whole letter, and then we'll go back through the letter and think through parts that we can act out using the actresses. Your black overseers must distrust all albinos. It is necessary, I'll just put like your family. Okay, we'll just leave that as is. It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. It is necessary that your slaves, okay. Slaves must depend on the blacks. They must love, respect, and trust only us. They must want to be us and not be themselves. Master Burton, these are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives use them. Have your children use them. Never miss an opportunity. Drive division proactively for a year, and you will have created slaves for generations. A servile population which is forever divided and therefore weak. Master Burton reading the letter. So this is, and this, I'm going to use this actually. This is indicating that, Master Burton is just sitting at a table, essentially reading to himself. You may worry for your safety and that of your family, thinking that if you were in the position of the albino, you would consider striking back at your master, but fear no retribution. To fight is not the spirit of a slave. And then this is Master Burton dictating to his son. This is a scene with him talking to his son, giving him the game, if you will. The making of a slave is a scientific process. We must sever the natural connection of mother and father to their own child, so that their brood is a useful production for our business and pleasure. And so this part probably should be narrated over when Sarah is bringing her twins into Burton Plantation. See what I'm saying? So, let me see. Okay. So we'll just say, and what do you guys think about the son asking questions or objecting as his father is saying this, making it just a touch more dialogic? Both horse and an albino are no good to the economy in their natural state. Particular attention must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. The albino must hear your voice in their head and think of themselves as albinos, not as humans. As albinos, not as piss-drinking Europeans, but as albinos. So this is Master Burton dictating to the son. Okay. Like a wild horse, unbroken, an albino is a dangerous albino. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring. If you break the female, the mother will break the offspring in its early years of development. So this one definitely has to be the letter reading. So I don't think he talked to his son in this particular way. Folks enthralled right now? No thoughts, huh? Okay, people are enthralled. Well, we're going to keep it going. Let me acknowledge some of the folks supporting the work real quick. Shout out to John, just got a pair of Sasson joggers. This is a great time for you given the weather. May I also acknowledge Andre. He writes, say no more. I'll tap in with you soon for episode 4. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. It'll be fun. It'll be super fun. In fact, it's always nice to do meaningful things with, your friends and family. Nothing better. That's what life's really about. Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you who have the AI no coding web development course, please do know that you have all of the notes, and the 5-hour lecture is all uploaded on school.com. So you got the 5-hour lecture, all of the course notes for the 5 hours, and there's a quiz. If you so choose to take it, you don't have to take it. I see someone just shared their answers with me. That's for your own good. Anyways, let's get back to this work. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and offspring. If you break the female, the mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver her own child to you. For her normal female protective tendencies, her normal motherly protective tendencies will have been torn out in the original breaking process. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, but only to her master. She is a wild bitch to even her own natural mate. Completely break the female such that you can ride her with comfort. Now this part is, I want this one overlaid during the RAPE, like right before the RAPE scene, right? So this one, let me make a note. Language above is voice over before the scene of Hagar being taken advantage of. That italics, make that purple. Great. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand, and she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. Take the meanest and most restless albino, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male albinos, the female and the infant. I don't even think that is meaningful. And the females. So all of this right here, we're not actually going to do it. So I don't even know if I want to describe these things, but I'll just go ahead and read them for now. This may get taken out. Feel free to weigh in. But anyways, it says tar and feather him, tie each leg to one horse faced in opposite directions, set him afire, and beat both horses until they pull him apart in front of the remaining albinos. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining albino males, the remaining albino male to the point of death in front of the female. Don't kill him. Put the fear of God in him. for he can be useful for future breeding. Now, put the fear of God in him. Okay. Now I'm wondering if we could get a good Bible quote right there when it says put the fear of God in him. But I guess in the Bible it probably simply says fear God. If anyone can find a good Bible quote that talks about the level of fear you should have for God, nah, it might be too much. I think we're good. Mr. Burton dictating to his son, how to break an albino woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. So this might be maybe when I'm talking to the son, and then it'll overlay over when he actually takes advantage of Hagar. So maybe instead of like he was comforting her, but then he tried to make an advance and then she rejected the advance. And then maybe that's when he decided to go Super Saiyan mode. Can somebody type something in the chat so I know that the chat is not actually frozen? You just never know with technology. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. If she shows any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of. Do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her. Okay, very good. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for commenting. Take care not to kill her, for so in doing, you spoil a prophet. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe we can overlay this showing him sitting and waiting for Hagar, and when he like puts his arm around her. What do you guys think on that? Text above, voiceover for when MDB2 is waiting at bench and starts comforting Hagar. Okay, very good. Know that taking the bed wench for yourself and impregnating them works for the long term of creating the various colors among their nation, which will create more difference and disharmony. This is very diabolical stuff right here, man. Okay. I think this is also him talking to son here. Nature would have the albino female strongly depend on the albino male, but we will cause distrust and enmity between the two such that she should even seek to be independent of him. We will teach her to raise her male offspring to be dependent on their master, like her. Our breaking of the albino male demonstrates to her that he can no more protect her than he can himself. The only man she knows is her master. The albinos on the plantation subsist in a state of eternal weakness, whether literally or psychologically. Excuse me. It should be psychologically. Okay. Yeah. Whether literally or psychologically, you will always be her true man and leader. We will configure her psychology such that she raises her male and female offspring in reversed roles. Out of fear, the albino mother will psychologically train her boy to display weakness and meekness. So I think this part. think this part at least should be him reading the letter as opposed to talking to his son. The only man she knows is her master, the albinos on the plantation. So, yeah. A master can sleep deeply when... Okay. A master can sleep deeply when he has taught the albino woman to be out in front and the albino male to be behind her and scared. The submissive male albino becomes a tool of the black man. It is in the mind that we defeat the albino. It is with our religion that we make him a fool. It is with your use of language that we trick him. It is with our use of language that we trick him. For example, if you told a slave that he must harvest our crops and he knows the language well, he would know that our crops doesn't mean our crops. And the slavery system would break down, for he would question what our crops really means. So he mustn't know the truth. He must only know the myth. Our crops, our God, our plantation. I really like that. That's a cold ending. I think that needs to be the ending right there. But maybe we can say that while the body is hanging and it's showing like an overlay, like this is a voiceover with the body hanging. Yeah. Below is a voiceover of the body hanging and the picnic going. The albino's feet are visible while the picnic is going. Okay. All right. Okay, so that was the letter, and curiously, it seems like I'll probably have to maybe just snip parts of that letter out and then drop it into other scenes. But I'm going to yield the floor right now for folks to give any feedback, their thoughts, recommendations, comments. Hey, you're going in the right direction. Hey, I will modify this a little bit. Just curious to hear what you guys are thinking right now. Okay, he says this Bible can be used in the hanging scene. Deuteronomy chapter 21. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, for he that is hanged is accursed of God. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Love it. Absolutely love it. That's perfect. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22 to 23. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Yeah, I'm just looking that verse up right now so I can bring that in. And if a man has committed, I like how yours has committed a sin. I'm going to modify it because surely they modified the Bible, right? Let's be real here. Let's be real. There was actually something called a slave Bible, if you didn't know. I like this one. Let's go to hanging. Okay. Uncle Ben, stomach. That was a great find. I appreciate you, Saint. A beautiful find. Right, we can't have Master Burton go that long without dropping some scripture. That man loves the scripture. It says, and I'm going to make sure I mix in the language that you had from your Bible. And if a man has committed a sin, I'm going to change it from man. And if a slave has committed a sin punishable by death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his body shall remain all night on the tree, but you shall bury him in the same day, for a hanged man is cursed by God. You shall not defile your land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. Very nice. Very, very nice. I like that. That's beautiful. Okay, and we'll have Lady Burton talking to, who's Lady Burton talking to when she says, "Dear, would you pass the Grey Poupon?" And maybe she's talking to Hagar. Yes, let's do that. Hagar, would you pass the Grey Poupon? Okay, very good. Yes, indeed. So that's a beautiful closeout right there. Okay, now let's look back through all the other scenes that are not the Willie Lynch letter, and then I guess we'll just try to blend in the Willie Lynch letter into the other scenes. Actually, I think I'm going to keep the Willie Lynch letter in one so that I can just go through and record it all, and then we can just chop it up later. Yeah, I think that'll be easier from a recording standpoint. So we'll go through right now. So we'll have the picnic, blanket, and serving tray, fruits, and condiments. Okay. Might have to buy some Grey Poupon, low key. Okay, let's see. So now we're going to go through. And it should pretty much have everything there that we need. I should be able to at least send this off as a first draft to my actresses. Okay, here we go. So we have Master Marquette Devon Burton. That's the main antagonist. Looks like the sizing of the fonts are different here, so we'll just use the normal text. Okay, that took away the bolding. Get like that. Great. That'll do for now. Then we have B-roll inside of Burton Plantation, going to all of the busts of Master Burton, show MDB2 and Hagar. Walking. So this is all direction. Okay, walking the plantation, playing tag, being affectionate. And let me know if you guys think that we should actually develop that at all, meaning that Hagar and MDB2 have any lines to start with. But this actual episode is called the Willie Lynch letter. want to make sure I'm spelling Willie like the way it's popularly spelled. That might be the L-L-I-E. Yes, it appears so. Yeah, it's L-L-I-E. So, Willie Lynch letter, there we go. So maybe we ought not have them have any lines before the letter is introduced, being that that's the main thing. Let me know what you think in the chat if you have any feelings about that. So here we are. Hidden farther from the entrance is a sprawling country estate stretching across rolling land. Tall oaks line a long gravel driveway. The house itself is imposing. White columns, white veranda. The architecture of confidence and permanence. A horse-drawn carriage approaches, the wheels crunching against the gravel as it comes to a stop. A coachman descends, opens the carriage door, and retrieves a small leather satchel. Opens the carriage door. Coachman, correspondence, sir. Delivery from the port this morning. Uncle Ben, thank you. I think we can cut all that out because how would Uncle Ben just happen to be up there? So we're going to cut all that right there. Boom, that's gone. Setting parlor room. Need it be bold. Master Burton, composing authoritative, plays piano. In a trance, Uncle Ben approaches and presents a sealed envelope, thick parchment, wax stamp, foreign character. Burton notices the seal immediately. Master Burton, you have a letter here. Master Burton took it. Master Burton, it look important. Master Burton, you have a letter here. It look important. You have a letter here. It look important. There we go. So definitely portray MDB second Hagar's friend so that when MDB second violates her, it shows the wicked nature of those. True. So yeah, we are going to show them kind of having fun as friends in the beginning. If anyone thinks that there need to be lines to that, feel free to recommend lines or just the fact of those lines being created. Anyways, here we are. Uncle Ben says, Master Burton, you have a letter here. It look important. And so it's a compose authoritative placement. Takes the envelope. He nearly smiles, measured, anticipatory. Burton, thank you. Uncle Ben exits. Master Burton rises from his piano bench and walks over to sit in a chair, which only he is permitted to sit in. He presses the blade gently under the wax seal. He sets the knife, unfolds the letter deliberately. His posture straightens. Camera angle shoots up close to Mr. Burton's eyes. Master Burton's eyes. Going back and forth with fascination. Zoomed out shows a time lapse of darkness falling in the room. I guess we don't need to do that. I don't think we need to do that. Post-production, Master Burton's voice narrates the letter through, though his mouth doesn't move initially. Who knows? I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess I'll just remove that one since I don't feel strongly about it. As he reads, Burton's expression shifts, not surprise, but recognition, gratitude even. He nods faintly as though encountering ideas long considered, now articulated. He leans back, letter still in hand. Okay. Master Burton. The making of a slave. Okay, so this is what I just read. So some of the oldest methods. If we do a previously on, that would have to go here. Okay. It says minimal dialogue between the two, just enough to illustrate their friendship. Okay, yeah, I think that running and laughing and smiling will do the trick then. Okay. So this is Master Burton reading the letter. You know what your problems are. I've outlined a number of differences among the albinos. Okay. Master Burton reading letter. Alternate between reading the letter and telling his son the contents of. Okay, we already got that. Now you have a list of differences. They must want to be us, not themselves. Master Burton, these are your keys to control. The making of a slave is a scientific process. So that doesn't need to be purple. It just needs to be maybe bold and black. Have Sarah bringing her twins into the plantation with the foregoing lines. Voiceover. Okay, Master Burton reading the letter. Master Burton dictating to son, reading the letter. Language above, okay. Master Burton dictating to his son. Dictating to his son. Know that taking the bed wench for yourself and impregnating her works for the long term of creating the various colors among their nation, which will create more difference and disharmony. Nature would have the albino female strongly depend on the albino male, but we will cause distrust and enmity between the two such that she should even seek to be independent of him. We will teach her to raise her male offspring to be dependent on their master, like her. Our breaking of the albino male demonstrates to her that he can no more protect her than he can himself. Then this is back to Master Burton reading the letter to himself. It says, below is a voiceover with the body hanging for the picnic. It is in the mind that we defeat the albino. Okay, so if we're going to read that during the hanging, this would have to actually probably be before the hanging if we're going to read the Bible verse after or during it. So this should be below is a voiceover with the body hanging and the picnic going over. No, so okay, below is a voiceover as the hanging is being carried out. Set up and carried out. It is in the mind that we defeat the albino. It is with our religion that we take him, that we make him a fool. It is with our use of language that we trick him. For example, you blah, 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 blah. So this scene, this is really scene one and all. So this is scene one and all, because a lot of this is used as voice over the other scenes. Okay. Lady Burton explains to Master Burton that the female twins are born. See what the actual language. So we have Aunt Jemima in here, which we don't have an Aunt Jemima, so we need to rewrite this entire scene. See, this is not easy work here, folks. And I already showed up with most of it done. Just to imagine how serious of a process this is. Okay, here we go. Scene 2, birth of twins. Lady Burton explains to Master Burton that the female twins are born. The scene is set back in the 1850s. Shack Aunt Jemima is a blonde, curvy woman in her 40s. Yada, yada, yada. Uncle Ben is a blonde man with blue eyes, eyes of age 28. Yeah, I think I'd rather AI and just have... Yeah, I'm wondering if we should AI the birth and babies. I'll talk about that with the team. A single oil lamp flickers against the rough-hewn wooden walls. Rain taps softly on the roof. Sarah, exhausted in her labor, lies on a pallet of rags. She grips the splinter beam with one hand. Kneeling beside her, sympathetic. Say, kneeling beside her and sympathetic is Uncle Ben. Steady, forcing calm. Breathe, baby, breathe, just like before. Slow now. Breathe, baby, breathe, just like before. The line is whack. Sarah cries out. Moments later, the sharp cry of a newborn cuts through the shack. Aunt Jemima lifts the first child into the lamp light. I'll say, we'll have to use Uncle Ben because we're short on actresses. So say Uncle Ben. The first child into the lamplight. The baby's skin is dark. Its features unmistakably African. Sarah freezes for a fraction of a second, long enough for the truth to register. Another contraction takes over Sarah. There's another, don't stop. So we'll just make Sarah say that line. There's another. A second infant emerges. The child's skin is pale, its hair light. The contrast between the two twins is undeniable. Uncle Ben steps forward, eyes darting from one child to the other. We'll say Uncle Ben. Eyes darting from one child to the other. His face drains of what little color it had. Sarah turns her head, barely able to lift it. She looks at the children and then closes her eyes, tears slipping down her temples. Uncle Ben takes a seat toward Sarah, looking toward Sarah, but through her. That's whack. Aunt Jemima holds the twins. Okay, now let's just say. Okay, cool. So that scene is a nice little short one. That's just the birth. And then this is Lady Burton. You know, Sarah had twins. Okay, great. They're having this conversation. Hagar, look at Sarah. Okay, great. Yeah, I think I'm a bit fried for now, so I think this will have to just do for now. And I'll probably tune this up a little bit tomorrow. That's one thing I encourage you guys to do, especially those of you who are hard workers, which is generally a minority. If you guys are on this call, you guys are probably the people who have the ability to focus, deal with tedium. But one thing I've been pretty good at is switch tasking. If I get a little bit fried on something and I'm not producing quickly, then I'll stop, do something else, and then come back to it. And then one thing I've only recently gotten good at is taking a very long time is I never know when to go to sleep. Like I'll keep working and I'll just like falling asleep while I'm working. I learned to just go to sleep and then just wake up super early and get back after it. Ladies and saints, I appreciate those of you who have been here sharing this beautiful experience, this creative experience. And I know for you guys will be even more of a engaging picture in as much as you were part of writing it. And though you heard what's supposed to happen, you get to see how it's actually depicted, which is yet another thing. That's where the artistry comes in, especially when the budget is minimal. So that should be cool. Gentleman writes, right, exactly. Yes, indeed, Aunt Jemima. Ladies and saints, it's been an absolute pleasure. Until next time, peace to the saints.